Okay, so for day 2 of this stuff, the first part of it, we're going to focus more on the stretching and shrinking, maybe even some reflection. I don't know if that was the case in the first day. The first day looked like it was a whole lot of just shifting, right? Okay, so on this first ones, if I gave you the parent to be f of x equals x to the 5th, and the child to be 2x, in parentheses, to the 5th, minus 3. Now, again, I want you to tell me what's going on. So part of the question is going to say, describe the transformation that took place. So from the left side to the right side, what's happening? What's different? We got a down 3 because it's on the outside of the grouping symbol. So we do have a down 3 in place. And that was because of this number right here. Then this number is also different. That is inside the grouping symbol being multiplied. So therefore, what kind of transformation is that when it's multiplication on the inside?
Horizontal.
We're horizontal. And for this particular thing, are we a stretch or shrink? Shrink, because that number is greater than 1. So when we say this, remember it's a horizontal shrink. We talked about it yesterday, by 1/2. Remember when we report the horizontal stretches and shrinks, we always write the reciprocal. Okay? As far as coming up with the graph of it, how are you going to come up with the graph of this? You're probably going to type it in the calculator, and I get that. But getting to tell me what the type of transformation that took place, that's more important for me. Because I know that you guys can actually just type these in your calculator and you'll have no problem getting the picture. Are you guys comfortable with that?
Yeah.
That's half of your assignment today is doing that, which again, we'll have multiple parts in there. But if you look at it, yesterday it was just the shifting. Today's got the stretching and shrinking and possibly even a reflection in here. Are you guys comfortable with it? This is like, again, like the 3rd or 4th time we've done it, so I don't think it's too bad. Now, the new part that's going to be different for you guys is going to be this. The second half of it is going to say, now I want you to write the equation. So it's going to give you, let f of x be equal to x to the 3rd plus x squared plus 1. And it's going to say, write the rule for g, then graph the function. Okay? So write the rule for g, and then graph the function. Now, here's what it's going to have. G is going to be something like this, where it'll say g of x equals 3 f of x. And so you want to write the rule. Now, for this particular thing, is the multiplication on the inside or outside?
Outside.
It's outside the grouping symbol, right? Or outside the function. So therefore, if I multiply by 3 on the outside, what does it do? Vertical stretch by 3. You just described it. Awesome. So vertical stretch by 3. Now as far as coming up with the actual equation, f of x was this whole big monster right here. Now what am I going to do with that monster if it says times by 3? Yeah, so 3 x to the 3rd plus x squared plus 1. What do I get?
You get 3x to the 3rd plus 3x squared plus 3.
Good job. So you've came up with g. You found it. There it is, 3x to the 3rd plus 3x squared plus 3. You told me the transformation that took place. You did that even before that. It's easier to see it actually the way it was written originally when it said 3f of x rather than what I have down at the bottom. And then the last thing I'll do is ask you to sketch the graph. Okay, what do you guys think? Not too bad? If it's inside the parentheses, then it goes inside parentheses. Okay? So for instance, on something like that, just so that you guys can see it, if it says, let's use the same function. And it says for G this time, it says that. Okay? If it says this, now I'm going to put negative x in for every x that I had. So it's going inside the grouping symbol, or inside a parentheses. So in order to finish this one out, this is going to look like this. Negative x to the third plus negative x squared plus 1. What's a negative x 3 times? What's a negative x 2 times? Okay, by the way, what happened? What was the transformation that took place? I like to look at it from here rather than this point. When S had a negative on the inside, what does that do? Nope. Reflection over the y-axis. Done. And then as far as the graph go, can you guys graph it? Okay. So you said again, reflection over the y-axis when it's on the inside. Awesome. Are you guys comfortable with that? Okay. And the last one that you're going to have is something like this, and it's the same kind of thing, but I just want to make sure you guys know what it means. Is it'll say words like, bless you, f of x will be x to the fourth minus 2x squared. And it will say a vertical stretch by 2 followed by a translation 3 units up. Okay? So that's what it's going to ask you to do. So as far as this goes, what they're going to do for this is, this part is not going to ask you to graph. It's just wanting you to tell me what the new equation looks like. Okay? So the first one it asked you to do was a vertical stretch. What does a vertical stretch do? Does it add, subtract, or multiply? It multiplies. Inside a grouping symbol or outside a grouping symbol? Outside. So if I put that like this, 2x to the fourth minus 2x squared, would that represent a multiply on the outside? Yes, it would. Followed by a translation 3 units up. What does 3 units up go? Outside plus 3. Is this an acceptable answer for what we just did? Absolutely. Because are you showing what we did or what we had to do? Are you showing the vertical stretch? Are you showing the translation? Yes. An alternative answer to this would have been this. 2x to the fourth minus 4x squared plus 3. Notice what I did? What did I do? I just distributed. Right. Or I just multiplied it out. And then combined like terms or whatever I needed to do. Which answer is correct? Both. It's your decision whichever way you want to have it. To me, it doesn't matter. Now, in the back of the book, most of the answers will be like this. However, for me, I am perfectly fine with you guys leaving it like that. Why am I fine with you guys leaving it like that? Because it shows you what's going on easier. It shows the vertical stretch. It shows the up 3. It shows it easier than having it in multiplied form. So whichever way you want to leave it, that is your choice. What do you guys think? Okay, so looking at the directions, 11 through 16 says describe the transformation that takes place, then graph the function. It is identical to the ones you did yesterday on 3 and 5. The only difference is this is going to have stretching and shrinking and reflection. Okay, it's not going to have shifting necessarily. It might, but it's going to have those other ones too. Then on 17 through 20, it says write the rule for g and then graph the function, describe the transformation that took place. Very similar to the first or the second one I showed you. Okay, just like this one there. Or this one there. Okay? And then on 23 to 26, it's just like the one I just have still on the screen, where it gives you that, and either multiply it out or you can leave it in the other form. Either way. Are you guys okay?
Yes.
Awesome. So on page 209 to 210, 11 through 27 odds.